It's Michael White.
And it's Anthea Moffitis. Good morning to you all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Love and Relationship Podcast. As you know, we're just here to help people date better, have a better relationship with themselves, and have a relationship with others. So that's the whole plan of our platform. Most of all, to also help you just date better. But dating better stems from you having a good relationship with yourself. So with all that being said, guys, please like, share, subscribe for the video. Help us grow our YouTube channel. Help us get the information out there. As I said, we're not here to change the space. We're just here to add value to the space. And that's it, and offer a fresher perspective.
Yes, and one thing from the beginning, like you just said, Michael, it's all about you, how you show up, how you think about your life, your belief system, and that's really where we stem from, just that self-love. And it's actually quite difficult to understand what self-love is. A lot of people don't quite get it. So like Michael said, we're not here to change the space. We're here to add value, to open up conversations. And we love having these conversations. They are brilliant. They've helped us personally by having the conversations in the first place. So we definitely know it could be of value to others too, because it's changing us. So yeah,
Yeah, so
happy.
I'll play the promo video for you guys, and then we will get started. All right. So, as I said, guys, we give you guys the platform to like, share, and subscribe for us on all platforms because, look, we want the best for you guys. We want the best for us. And we want to be able to offer value to our audience.
Your
So,
camera's
today's
off.
video.
There you go.
What was that?
Your camera was off.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even touch anything, but okay. Um, what happens is, guys, today's video is going to be very interesting. We're talking about the difference between healthy love and toxic love. You know what I mean? A lot of times people don't know the difference between the two. They think they're in love with somebody and they think it's genuine, but then you could tell that it's really not. So we're going to break down a video that has 6 different points. We're going to go through those 6 different points, and then hopefully you can take something away from it to identify what is healthy love and what isn't, because these are things that we're not taught, unfortunately. So because we're not taught them, we go off of our own blueprint, we go off of our own wisdom, which actually gets us in trouble.
Doesn't it
So
just, Michael? And then
it
it's
does.
funny that we're not taught these things. Like these are things that are life that everyone's going to get into a relationship, but yet we're not taught how to deal with a relationship and what a healthy relationship looks like. Like the school system needs to seriously fix up, man.
It does. It does. And that's what I mean. With this video, we're going to walk through some things, and then we're going to break each point down. And hopefully you guys, can take something away from it. So, again, let's get started. I got to mute my mic so you guys can hear all the information. And then we'll break the points down perfectly.
Psych2Go fans, thank you for your continued support and for bringing new friends to learn more with us. Love. It's a word that holds weight, feels good. Love is an instinctive emotion most of us feel, yet is not fully understood, being a complicated emotion. In spite of the ubiquity and universality of love, we are rarely taught the how or what love really means. We simply navigate our relationships and hope we'll figure it out along the way. Love may drive us wild, causing dysfunctional patterns in our relationships. Even the truest kind of love can turn toxic if we're not careful. With that in mind, here are 6 key differences that can help us distinguish between healthy and unhealthy love. 1. Intensity versus stability. Remember back to that new relationship feeling when everything is just incredible? In the beginning, you get a rush of emotions and that high intensity of affection that gives you a sort of euphoria when you're together. In a healthy relationship, these emotions mature and stabilize. They grow into a fondness and relaxed deep affection instead of staying at a feverish, unstable high. Contrast this with an unhealthy relationship, where the deepening maturity and calmness doesn't happen. The intensity persists. You spend virtually all your time together, constantly checking in when apart, and there are upsets when the other person doesn't reciprocate the smothering attention. That good intensity has now turned negative.
Okay, so I actually want to break that point down. As she said, when it's genuine love, it matures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it gets intense, but it still matures, as in the sense of there's depthness to it, compared to what she's saying here, where it's like, you're not reciprocating, you're not giving me what I want, and blah 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 blah. Like, that's when it starts to lean into the toxic side of things. And I think we've all kind of been there. You get into a relationship, it's fresh, it's new. Maybe you've been single for a while, maybe you've been dated for a while, and then, you get this new love and you're just so overwhelmed with this individual, that now you're just like, okay, I need them, I need their love, I need all this stuff. And then when it's not reciprocated, um, you know what I mean? You start to get angry and you start to smother. So I don't know if
And
there's
it,
anything you want to add to that.
yeah, I was going to say, it happens a lot, doesn't it? And it's funny because as soon as somebody gets in, well, not as soon as, but a lot of times people get into that little routine of calling each other. And if somebody doesn't, that's when they start getting upset. And like you said, if there's no depth towards it, as in there's no deep conversation and there's no communication, and it's just, and I say communicate, I mean in a conversation wise, to understand one another, understand where you're going and what you want from it. A lot of people just end up messaging or calling and just finding out, where are you, what you doing? And that's as deep as it goes. And that is the difference, isn't it? It's if you've got somebody who is actually wanting to communicate properly with you and want to make plans with you, in comparison to someone just constantly checking up on you or saying, oh, you said you're going to call at 2 o'clock and you didn't make that phone call. It's the tone of voice that's being used. It's the way they're approaching you. And then it does become very toxic because there's no need for that. Because it's like you said, it's either going to mature in this right way, which is to communicate, to make plans together, to understand where you two are going. And yes, you're going to check in on one another, but there's more to it. It's not just checking in to find out, why haven't you called at this time? Or, like, why would you 5 minutes late? Or questions like that are the toxic side of a relationship, I believe, anyway.
Well, we covered it in the Stefan video, right? One of the key points that your relationship was going to fail was a lack of depthness.
Yes. So it's so important to have that depth. Like, honestly, it really is, because without
And not
it,
to push it either. Like, it has to be like genuine. It has to kind of go there on its own.
yeah,
And
it's that
that's one of
ease and
those
flow,
things.
isn't it?
Exactly. It has to kind of go there on its own. You can't push it there. So I think that's really important to understand, that side of things. So understand that when you get into a new relationship, don't let it take over your whole world. Still enjoy it, still be present, still, love it, but don't like, okay, you're going to smother this person. And
Yeah.
guys, look, I've been in relationships where it was new, there was no depthness, just ultimate attraction, and it burns out like a
Mm.
candle.
And do your own thing, carry on. Before you met that person, you had a life. Like,
Yes,
continue with your life, right? Continue, go to work and continue to focus on your work, or whatever it is that you do, because a lot of the time people get into the relationships, and because they're so besotted by what's that person, like, their thought process is only about that person and that's it. And they just forget, like, who they are. They completely
they
lose
lose
their
their
self-identity.
identity.
They lose their identity very quick and sharp. Like, and yeah, that's not the way forward again. It's continue doing what you're doing and focus on what you're doing, and look forward to seeing the person you've met. Look forward to making your plans together. Don't allow it to take over your life and then be there like, oh yeah, but he said he's going to call at this time and I didn't hear from him. Oh, I wonder if he's with somebody else. Or, just all of that is a very toxic way of thinking also.
Yes, exactly. So now we're going to get to point 2, but we'll let the video play out.
And feels uneasy instead of euphoric. 2. Isolation versus independence. Isn't it thoughtful and romantic when your partner asks you out and makes plans with you? This depends on how often and when it happens. Healthy love involves a sense of independence. You stay connected to the important people in your life and continue to be able to participate in your own pursuits. Unhealthy love involves a sense of isolation, cutting you off from everything in your life that is not your partner. They become your one and only priority, thus your only source of happiness. They will question or guilt you if it seems you're deriving happiness or enjoyment from anything other than them. This is not love. It's controlling possession. 3. Concern versus jealousy.
You see, and I love that the points are short and straight to the point. If somebody loves you and they care about you, they're going to want you to have other things outside of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Other hobbies, other activities, friends. Again, within the context, when I say friends, healthy friendships, not like, you know what I mean, like an ex-lover or somebody that used to fool around with. I'm talking about like healthy, positive friendships. Because again, somebody that's toxic would only wants you to be their world. That's it. They don't want you to have anything else outside of them.
And they would support you and they would encourage you to go out and do the things you love. So if you're somebody who's a swimmer, let's say you like to go swimming, but your partner's not really into that, and you've been going swimming every week for whatever, for as long as you remember, and then your partner says, oh no, why are you going swimming, like you're with me now,
Mm-hmm.
then that's not good. But if he was to say to you, or she was to say to you, oh, actually, babe, yeah, like enjoy your swimming, you know, maybe we could meet up for something to eat after or something like that, then
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's healthy. But when somebody's trying to block you or stop you or trying to break down, and I've experienced that where someone's tried to break down every relationship around me and told, and everyone he's met, oh, they're jealous of you, or um oh, they're no good for you. And it's like, these are my long-term friends that I've known for years. And this person's come along trying to say to me that, you know, they're no good for me or they're jealous of me or whatnot. And that's when I realized this isn't good. Like, you're trying to take me away from what my actual circle of people, which doesn't is not healthy. But had he been like encouraging that and, you know, um, saying, you know, talking positive about the people around me, then that's different. That's actually into a healthy side of things. When someone starts bringing your people around you down and they're trying to tell you that something's not right about this person or that it's actually a reflection on them. Look at that person and understand that it's not you and it's not the people around you. They're coming in as an outsider and trying to make a judgment, but that's because of them, not because of you. And that's not healthy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not healthy. And that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't have to be told to have a life outside of that. Like, you shouldn't have to be told that.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, you when you get into a relationship, the other person shouldn't have to tell you to have a life
mm-hmm.
outside of me. You know what I mean? Like, we're grown adults. Like, they shouldn't have to tell you that. You know what I mean? It should just kind of be well
Natural.
known. Exactly. Exactly.
We may not want to admit it, but jealousy is a normal part of any relationship. It's okay to feel occasionally insecure and want assurance from your partner, just as long as jealousy does not get out of hand. Healthy love is all about open communication and listening to each other. It means setting mutually comfortable boundaries and having mutual trust. Unhealthy love is all about wild and irrational jealousy, the unreasonable kind that can never be reassured. Your partner may become possessive of you and start invading your privacy. They may read your messages and restrict who you can and can't interact with. They need to know who you're with and where you are at all times. There may also be frequent accusations of infidelity, like cheating or flirting, even when you're not. 4. Teasing versus belittling.
Ahead, Anthea. I'm sure that you have something you want to say about that.
Yeah, that's exactly the relationship I was speaking about just now. It's, just hearing that is like, wow, that the traits are so powerful of, accusing me constantly, or if somebody's accusing you and you're not doing anything, or they're wanting to try and check your phone, or you're trying to message somebody and they're looking and they're asking question after question after question. It's not healthy for that to be taking place. That is extremely toxic. You should be able to look. When I've been in a healthy relationship, I know the difference. I can have a phone call and they know that I'm gonna, I suppose they just know, because they know I'm going to tell them who it is, because we're in a healthy relationship. So I just naturally communicate that. Or you can tell by my energy, you can tell how the way I'm presenting myself. So there's nothing, there's that help. The person I'm in that healthy relationship hasn't come to me and started to gun me down to say, oh, you've done this and you've done that. And actually, they might say something like, oh, that sounded really good. Like, what they might ask me, or what was you planning on doing? Or then
Guys,
I
I
would,
can vouch for that because I've talked to Anthea when she's been in relationships, and the guys are usually like pretty cool. Like I
yeah,
can vouch for that. Like usually I call her about like the podcast or something that it is we're doing, and usually the guys are pretty stand up dudes.
yeah, they're good. But if you've got the, I've had, that's what I'm saying, the difference with having that toxic and having them wanting to, not being frightened to leave my phone somewhere because they're going to, and it's not because there's anything bad on my phone or anything I want to hide, but that's my privacy. That's mine. Like, you can't go into somebody's privacy like that.
Well, it
So,
shouldn't even have to go there.
no,
Like you
that's
know what
what
I
I
mean?
mean.
Like it shouldn't even have to. It shouldn't even have to go there.
No, absolutely. So when you're in a healthy relationship, you naturally will come off the phone and be like, and be excited to say what's happening, or you'll just say who just spoke to you, or you'd say their name anyway, and the other person wouldn't bat an eyelid to it. They won't say anything because to them, they're secure. You're both secure in that relationship and you feel good with one another. So it's not a matter of who you're speaking to, it's the fact of the deeper level of you guys having a very healthy relationship. So there's no one's going to come to you and try and say something negative about your conversations or about who you went to see, because you naturally will have that respect for one another. I wouldn't go out, if you're in a healthy relationship, you just wouldn't go and meet up with your ex-partner and think it's
Yeah.
okay. You just wouldn't do it, right? So there's a lot of boundaries and a lot of a platform that you've got when you're in a healthy relationship,
Well,
that you
that's what she said. Like the boundaries. Like you're gonna have the like and again, I don't think you should have to tell somebody that you're dating, hey, don't go through my phone.
yeah, no, you
You know
don't
what I
ever
mean?
have
Like I
to
don't
say
think
that.
that like if you have to have that conversation, that already shows a form of like mistrust
Yeah,
off
absolutely.
the jump.
Or even if they think they can, like, I've heard people that have been together for a very long time, and I mean, I haven't been with somebody for more than 10 years, so I don't know if this is how it goes. I haven't got personal experience on this one. However, I've heard them say, like, they'll pick up their partner's phone and they will, like,
Mhm.
read, they will just, like, if their partner's phone rings or there's a text message, they'll go and check it and they'll go and tell their partner, oh, blah blah is just messaged you, shall I message them back for you? Now, I personally don't agree with that. Still, I don't care how long we've been together, but again, I haven't experienced this, so I don't know, as in, it's not my personal experiences. But I would think that even if I'm with someone for 7-8 years, I would still like to keep certain things about my life. My phone is my phone. I wouldn't want them picking it up and responding to people unless I ask them to. Like, okay, for example, when I'm driving, say my son's in the car with me or my daughter's in the car with me, or a boyfriend's been in the car with me or somebody, and I need to respond to this person, then I would ask that person, can you go into that text message and respond for me, please? But I'm there with them. But I wouldn't expect them, just because they've done that and I've asked them to do that in that moment, to then think it's okay to pick up my phone at any time and then just look at messages and respond to them, right?
See, context is everything, because like
Yeah.
let's say I'm dating somebody and like she knows about like my business and what it is I do, right? And then let's say we're hanging out together or whatever, or I go to the bathroom or I go shower, and she knows that I'm expecting like a call
Yes, that's different.
from like somebody, right? But like let's say she sees my phone and she's like, "Oh, he's been expecting this call from like John or from like Anthea or somebody," right? And she takes the call. I'm not going to be mad, because again,
No.
like she'll just be like, "Hey, like he's in the shower. Do you mind waiting a couple minutes? I could talk to you for a minute until he gets out of the shower, or I could have him call you back."
Yes.
In
Yeah, there's
those
nothing wrong with
situations,
that.
yes, that's different, but more
Yeah.
in the context of I'm not going to feel comfortable if like I leave my phone in the room and then she's like scrolling through it. She's like, "Well, who's Jessica? Who's Sally? Who's
Yeah.
whatever?"
Yeah.
So
No, 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 no. That's a no all day. No.
yeah, within that context, that's
Yeah.
a no.
Absolutely. And you broke that down really well, actually. That's really true.
Once you become more comfortable with one another, you might start playfully teasing or lightly ribbing on each other, even in front of others. That's a sign of healthy love, that you feel secure enough and know each other well enough to laugh slightly at yourselves. You both know when to stop and no feelings are hurt. Unhealthy love, on the other hand, crosses over the lines, and the teasing isn't light. It's belittling, insulting, and humiliating. Maybe your partner decides to share embarrassing, knowingly private information to get laughs and adulation from other people. They may purposely make fun of you for something they know is hurtful. Even worse is that they likely won't even apologize for it, twisting it so it seems like you're the one with a problem by being too sensitive and overreacting. 5.
That's a very interesting one,
Isn't
actually.
it just, Michael?
Now, there's playful banter, which I'm totally fine with. But once it starts going into the realm of you picking at things in the relationship, now it's a no.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Especially around like people.
yeah, especially if it's something, I don't know, let's say, I think, let's say you're somebody who snores at nighttime.
Yeah.
Let's put that there. And then that partner starts in that bantering, starts going, "Oh yeah, you want to hear how loud they snore," and everyone starts laughing. Then that's a personal thing, and that's toxic.
Yeah, like
Because
if they said like, "Yo," you said like, like if I was dating someone and we're like in a group setting and I'm like, Sally sounds like a water buffalo when we sleep together. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah, something like that. It's like that's a personal thing that no one needs to know. No one needs to know anything like that about you apart from your partner. So if there's a problem, then then they'll come to you, but they don't need to stand and tell it in front of everybody else. And that's even with a friendship. Like it
yeah, you
doesn't,
just have to be careful with. You have to know who you're dealing with,
yeah, for sure.
because playful banter, everybody has their different levels, right?
Yeah,
Some people don't mind playful banter. Other people don't want it at all. Some people are okay with it, and some people are like, "Hey, it's totally fine if we make fun of each other."
yeah,
So you need to know who you're dealing with and where they fall on the Richter scale.
yeah, I agree with that.
So
Just
that's
be
how I look
super
at it.
aware, right? Just be super aware. And if these things are resonating with anyone at the moment, like, and you can hear that these, like, let's say you're on the toxic side of things and you're hearing this, please don't make up excuses and say yeah but, because the yeah but just lets you know that there's something not right. Because when people try and cover things, it's always a yeah but, and then there's an excuse behind that yeah but. So if you're hearing this and you actually feel, actually this is what I'm experiencing on the toxic side, then take notice and become super aware of it, so you're not going through that in your life.
And
um and,
address it.
and address it, so you're not feeling like, because like I said in this video, A lot of the time they try and make it feel like it's you're the problem and you're just overreacting. And then you start thinking, oh, is it me? Am I overreacting? No, the second someone starts doing that, you're hearing this, it's not right. And you need to address that.
I agree with that. I'm looking forward to hearing this next one, though.
Generosity versus manipulation.
Generosity versus manipulation. Healthy love does not require payback or an exchange. You give freely of your time, energy, money, and whatever else may be needed from you, because you care about them and want happiness for them. There is no attempt to purchase desired behavior. Healthy love is selfless, while unhealthy love is selfish. Unhealthy love gives, not out of generosity, but with expectations of something in return. It's a transaction. It can look like them offering you a ride to work in the morning, and in exchange, you'll be expected to stop your painting hobby that makes you leave every Thursday night for classes. The reasoning used to hide it, because if you really love them, you'd do it. This is manipulation, not love. And 6, honesty versus volatility.
Wow, I
See,
love
so
that breakdown.
what I'm gonna say about that one, and it's very interesting because again, you'll hear people say, "If you love me." Now, again, I have to disagree with the point a little bit. Yes, you should give love freely. You should, but there always has to be a healthy exchange. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, you can't be the person giving all in the relationship and the person reciprocates nothing.
Right. I agree with that, Michael.
It has to be a healthy exchange. Like, it has to be two people coming together wanting to serve each other.
And yes, and then I think to add to that, if it then becomes like the lady said there, if you're doing something, yes, it has to be a balanced way and it's got to be healthy. But if you are dropping that person off 5 days a week or 2 days a week to work, then by saying, "Well, I done that for you, you need to do this for me," that's when it becomes unhealthy.
Oh yeah, like you have to do that. Like, nobody's holding you hostage to say you have to do this. But it's also understanding of what are you comfortable reciprocating back.
Hmm.
That's what I'm gonna because the thing is, when it's reciprocation and it's both healthy, it's just two people giving to each other.
Yes.
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So in the context, a relationship is a give and take.
And it's you naturally want to, but once someone starts going into that saying, "Well, if you loved me, you would
Yeah.
do this for me," that's where it's like, no,
Yeah, then
no,
it
no,
becomes a problem because now you're trying to
manipulate.
control the narrative.
Yes, and manipulate it to say, well, you know, and it's like, well, it doesn't mean because I'm not doing that, I don't love you. It's because I'm choosing not to. And like you said, no one, just because you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean you have to do anything. Actually, it's only going to be what is flowing between you guys and what's right for you guys. Somebody wants to go and jump out of an aeroplane doesn't mean, and you don't want to do that because that's not something you ever want to experience in your life. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but if that person says, "Well, if you love me, you'll do it with me," well, actually, no. Like, I don't want to do that. you know you can't use the love to make somebody do something, or use
To
just,
control the narrative.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, guys, we're gonna cover. I think it's the last point.
Yeah.
Final but highly important aspect is that healthy love is honest, but not manipulative. The openness about your feelings, wants, and thoughts are shared for the pure reason of better mutual understanding. This being so you can be a stronger support to each other and grow closer. There is no hidden motive, just open, healthy communication. In unhealthy love, the honesty shared is volatile. It involves tearful fights, screaming terrible low blow things at each other, then panically begging the other partner to come back. because you can't function without them. Your relationship feels constantly unsafe and insecure, with emotions soaring or plummeting with no consistency. When you love someone, it can be difficult to accept the realities surrounding them and your relationship with them once the shiny new relationship smell wears off. We all struggle at being good at times, so it feels hypocritical to fault others for that same struggle. We wrongly believe that if there is love, imperfections are all negligible, to be dismissed or ignored. This is a dangerous idea to entertain, as it makes us more vulnerable to abuse and mistreatment. Everyone deserves to be treated with decency, courtesy, kindness, and care. Knowing the difference between what's healthy and unhealthy in love can help you better understand your relationships and assess whether they're good for you. Healthy love is open communication, mutual respect, trust, and compatible values. If your relationship lacks all of these, then it may be time to consider if it's a love that's not meant to last.
Hey guys, it's Yumi. You guys
I think that point was very interesting. As she says, if there's yelling, screaming, berating, putting down someone's character, you need to question the relationship. Now, anything can be fixed, right? Because as she said, when two people come together, you guys are learning each other. It's never going to be perfect. You're learning each other. So, with that being said, sometimes some things are going to get crossed, and you have to be able to correct them in a healthy manner.
Absolutely. And if time has gone on and it continues, that the shouting and all of that keeps going on, then, like she rightfully said, everyone deserves that mutual respect. Everyone deserves to be for people to be kind and courteous towards them. We all deserve to have that, you know. So if somebody's not treating you that way, then really do question it. And you know, and I think this is where we'd like to, where people have been in relationships for so long and they're so scared to walk away because they're scared that they're going to be alone. And but if that's how you're being spoken to, and that's, you know, it's always saying to you stuff like, oh, you never listen, or you're always doing that, or when are you ever gonna, I've been asking you to do this and you don't ever do it. And well, if the person's never doing something, or they're always doing something that you don't like, then, you know, then don't be with them, because you don't
Well,
like
let's
that
put it into
for you.
context. Let's put it into context, though. The person's not going to be perfect all the time.
No,
They
but
are
if
going
it's
to
like that
slip up at some
often,
point.
yeah, but if it's, I'm saying if it's happening quite
Oh, yeah, if it's
often like
happening
that,
often, yeah.
yeah, if it's happening often like that, then there's a problem, man.
Well, that's why emotional intelligence is so important.
Mm.
And because the thing is, with emotional intelligence, you never get out of pocket. Let's say there's a fight, you never start swearing, you never start cussing. You know, let's say that, you know what I mean? You learn how to control yourself. And again, guys, look, I'm not perfect. I've made the mistake multiple times. In that moment, sometimes you get really heated.
Mm.
In that moment, because you're like, they're not listening to me, they're not doing this, they're not doing. Look, man, you can't control someone else. You cannot control the narrative of someone else. In that situation, the best advice I could give anybody is walk away. Not walk
Hmm.
away from the person, but walk away from the situation and say, hey, I'll talk to you in an hour or two. I need some time to cool off. I'm going to come back.
And I think that is the best solution and best thing for you, best thing for the other person. Because, like you said, yes, we've done it, we've been there, we've done that. But that's why these conversations are taking place, so that people can avoid doing things like that, because it's not a nice situation. It's not nice when you're super reactive to things, because you're the one that hurts in those moments as well. And it's you that's making your own blood boil, you know, when actually you can take that moment and say, like you just rightfully said, Michael, I just need an hour, or I need half an hour.
Yeah.
I just need some time. I'm not even going to put a time limit on it. I just need some time before we go any further with this, because I don't want to say things and I want to keep myself cool and calm. And you walk and you go and take that time for yourself, think about it, and then come back. And if the
Yeah,
other
exactly.
person, yeah, and if the other person is actually still in that angry mode and you notice that, then say, okay, you need to take time.
Yeah,
Maybe we
you need
have,
to. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So it's really
yeah.
understanding. I like to be slow to anger, and I'll admit on this podcast, one of my problems is sometimes I'm very reactive.
Mm,
And it's something that I'm working on. A skill that I'm working on is to be less reactive and never lose frame. So what I
mm,
mean by never lose frame is never lose my composure of having an argument. It's okay to disagree, but once it starts leaning into arguments, now it's
yeah. Look, if somebody's, I've just had something of recent in business, and I could have reacted, I could have done, but I don't need to react. I just don't need to react. At the end of the day, I'm not here to try and beg somebody or try and show my worthiness or try to say, I listen, it's as simple as I'm not going to fight somebody else how they're seeing me. That's up to them. I'm not going to try and change that. It's up to that person. And I don't need to react to anybody because you know what? By reacting and especially negatively reacting, who's getting hurt? Just myself. Who am I winding
exactly
up?
just
Myself.
you, because you
That's
end up
it.
having to apologize. You end up having to,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again, that's why as I believe in self development, working on yourself, becoming a better version of yourself. So, anyways, guys, this podcast is going to be a short one. Please like, share, subscribe, guys. Look on YouTube, follow us, guys. Subscribe,
Come
it's free.
on.
We're trying to grow that YouTube channel. So please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you Tuesday for Tuesday's topic. Sorry, not
Wednesday.
Tuesday. Wednesday's
Wednesday.
topic and Friday's topic. And we will see you guys then. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we will see you guys then.
Take care, everybody.